You know what I mean? We got to have a redirection to where it's like, okay, this is the mission. And I think it comes under that. Every community should have a mission for the whole community. And this is every side of town, the black side, white side, the Hispanic town, everybody. But there should be a common goal for everybody under one umbrella. This is what we want for our community. And if anything is happening in that community and it doesn't fit that goal, it has to be gone. We have to, everybody needs to stand up to go over there and say, hey, this ain't what we doing. Welcome world, welcome family to another episode of the EL2A podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Gilmore Jr. But to the right of me, we got the Rocket, man, Mr. Eddie Rocker, the highest of 7 hills. Two-man show today, family. The wheels must keep going. But I just want you to like, subscribe, and comment. All right, stop what you're doing right now. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and let's get it going. We're gonna start right there. But how you feeling today, Rocket?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm a good 9 today.
Good 9.
Yeah.
Rocket flying high, y'all. I'm gonna say on the 10 too. We're on the best notes, but man, definitely have a very important topic to talk about today, man. We want to talk about the importance of role models. Want to talk about, are you a role model or you're a model playing a role? I'm gonna say that again. Are you a role model or are you a model playing a role? Because it's different, and it's getting real tricky outside right now, man. We got a lot of folks that are pretending to be something they're not, and they're persuading a mass of people in the wrong direction. And mostly our youth fall up under this umbrella, man, because they're easily persuaded. And they got folks that are in their life that are pretending that they're for the best of them, or that they want what's best for them, and they're gonna look out for them. But the whole time they have an agenda. Mm-hmm. They have an agenda, and they're putting these young folks under their arm, showing them what they want, taking them where they want to go, and promising them things, and they're leading them to a path of destruction. And this is nothing that just start happening.
No.
This been happening for a long time, but it's when is enough? I've said that before. When is enough? We hopped into the space that we hopped in because we seen the lack of role models. So we understood that there was a number of kids that were out there that were lost. And literally lost, didn't know who they were, first and foremost, didn't know where they were going. So we wanted to come and create something that begin to give them structure and begin to provide things to be able to show them who they were and where they're going. But you still have a mass of people, even though, there's always two sides. What's the little face thing with the negative and the positive face? You always got that, because on one side of town or on one part, somebody's doing good, and then on the other side, somebody's tearing down. But I want to go through a conversation, man, and just see how can we get rid of that negative force. And before we start, because a lot of people have different definitions for everything. So we got to get on the one common definition. And I want to hear from you first. What is a role model? When you hear role model, what is a role model?
Just somebody that is doing the right thing and that you can follow. Mm-hmm. If you copy what they're doing, if you live their life, so to speak, if you live life the way that they're living it, you're gonna do it the right way. Mm-hmm. And doing the positive things. So I mean, just for short, somebody that you can copy. And again, just be positive, be a positive person. So just real simple for people that that may not truly understand.
Yeah. And for me, a role model, it goes even deeper. For so long, when I thought of a role model, I thought of the whole person, mm-hmm. like that person. I want to be like that person. But as I live life, I found out that you can have a role model that has only one thing that you like about that person. Mm-hmm. I like the way that person communicates. That's my role model. Mm-hmm. But I understand that I'm watching them for that one thing and not everything. And I think that comes to because I'm at the point of my life that people come to me and give me advice. And I don't take everything they give to me. I just take what I want from the conversation. And I think, and that may be too much, asking too much for a young person to try to be decisive in that type of decision, but a role model can be, again, because so role model, usually somebody looks at a role model as doing something that they want to do. Mm-hmm. So for example, most of you look at athletes as role models because they play the sport, they want to play the sport. I think it'll be to your best benefit to find a role model that doesn't do what you do. Mm-hmm. Because now you're able to get different information from this person and learn something else. So it's a plethora of things where I think that we went wrong in the sense of seeking role models. Because obviously everybody role model, if you go back to, if we ask you what's your favorite action hero, let me ask you that. What's your favorite action hero?
I'll say Superman.
Why?
He was strong, he flew, That's probably why.
You get what I'm saying? But not for sense. But nobody when they're picking these things, nobody goes to the person that's losing, or nobody goes to the person that looks like a dork. Or we all look again strong, fast, fire, like does something that is out of the ordinary.
Right.
And again, once we get into the real world and we're talking about a person that's looking for a real individual for a role model, we look for that, making the most money, drive the best cars, has nice wife or whatever. Like these are the things we're looking for. So we never look for the things that are less appealing, but what we need the most. So when we're thinking about our youth and we're thinking about role models, I think we have to kind of redefine what a role model is and what it looks like. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's funny. So I'm not as strong. So and to that point, I'm not as strong. I'm not as fast as Superman, but I would like to think of myself as a role model with the characteristics of a man, as a human being with good morals, a good work ethic. But then, I'm gonna be 100. As mentoring, when we mentor these boys, we find out that some of the role models that are in the households, they're just there, like you say, to your point, they're just there, and they're showing these boys a whole nother way of living that's going against what we would show the boys, upon our mentorship. So somebody may ask me like, well, why do you think you're a role model? So one case in point today, I went to one of the elementary schools, and there was a kid that we hadn't seen. He hadn't been to the program in a while. Once he seen me, he yelled out, "Hey, Mr. Cut Different." So first off, that's the first thing. Okay, well, if he don't know nothing else, he know Mr. Cut Different. That says something. But then you get in the class. As I walked into the classroom, in front of his peers, his classmates, he was like, "This is my mentor. He taught me everything I know. He's something like a father." So just a little bit, but he's something like a father. And that moment made me feel, good. Just knowing that, if nothing else, in that short amount of time that young man was in our program, he took something from what we did, or something that I said to him, that in his head, as young as he is, was able to take away something positive, other than Mr. Eddie having a whole bunch of money, or other than Mr. Jamie riding on 24s, 26-inch rims. So again, as a role model, man, it's not, again, you said it, it's not about what we have, but what strong suits that you can actually take away and actually, like you say, I can actually do or implement in my life to be a good person.
Yeah, and that was important. You said when you made the correlation to the at home. So I think when you think of a role model, you really don't think of a parent. We were blessed to have our dad that was our role model. Like he emulated what it meant to be a man. We were able to see a living example of how we should dress, how we should take care of ourselves, how we should walk, how we should talk. So he was a role model. Our dad is, I'll speak for myself, my dad is my role model. Even going into the situation we're talking about, when you get into families, when you have parents that aren't displaying the right role. Again, on one hand, they're telling the child what they need to do, but on the other hand, they're not doing what they need to do. So
or putting them in environments around people that's not doing what they're telling their child
them to do. For sure. So it's a double whammy. So in a sense, you want me to be a person that you're not being. But then you go out, and when we in public, you telling people I don't do what I'm supposed to do, but I'm holding my tongue and won't tell them. You tell them what you've been doing. You get what I'm saying? But so it's trickery, and it's causing confusion, especially when we come to the youth, because it's causing confusion, because it's like, what do you want from me? Who am I supposed to be? Should I follow this, or should I follow what you're telling me to do? Because I see what you're doing, I want to do that too. That look fun. But you want what's best for me, and you want me to do something else. So it's a funny way. But even going back to what you're saying with the young man that walked in there, bro, that's so impactful. When you talk about a person that you could touch their life, that he said he's like a dad to me. But think about this, the same positive effect you left on it, that's what the negative forces do. They leave that same impression on that person. This is like a dad to me. But not knowing this person is just setting me up. He know what he's doing. He getting me to this point of vulnerability, because now he about to run his play. His play is coming soon. Now he about to have me selling drugs. Now he about to have me hitting licks. Now he about to have me being
on women,
being his crash dummy.
Just doing everything negative up under the sun that a positive male role model, a positive role model in general would not do.
Being a crash dummy.
Yeah.
And for a sense, now, and it's been serious.
Yeah.
So we have people that mix people up like this. So one thing, when you think somebody, when they're looking for a role model, what are something you should look for? So when you're thinking of a role model and a person that has a role model, what are some things that they should look for
just,
through that
just
person?
I mean, off the top, just first off appearance. Let's start there. The way that you look. I mean, I know we say it's not big, but you're not gonna follow somebody that don't look good. You know what I'm saying? So appearance, character, work ethic, and those are just some just to off the top of the head. You know, when you look at somebody, is this person? And I mean, just quite frankly, is this man being the person that I would want to be later on in life, or that I could be later on in life? I think you hit home with the fact that, you know, we have in our society, we have kids, we have households that are not really shedding light, or they're not highlighting what a true role model really looks like, or they're not, you know, they're not praising that. So then when in the household, and it's not being sexist or anything, but as a man, we speak to the little boys, we speak to our boys, and we ask, okay, so what are some of the things that your mom says about your dad? So when they hear these negative things about this man, or about this male that's supposed to be uplifting, so to speak, or, you know, if I'm supposed to be like this guy, am I supposed to be this positive male, but this male isn't in my household, and I hear my mom, or I hear my aunt, or my whoever, I hear somebody talk negatively about this person that I quote unquote supposed to be like, what am I supposed to do? Who am I supposed to be like growing up? So then they turn to the people that you say. That's when you get the drug dealers. That's when you get the social media. Okay, I see this guy on the internet. I'd rather be like him because I don't have that in my household. I don't know what that looks like.
Now that's who. And even with the social media thing, because I was even thinking about that. So more so when you think of a public figure or a celebrity, so Boosie had a saying, I don't know if you remember what Boosie said, I'm not a role model. He basically said he's not a role model, but he basically said, you know, he's a celebrity, but he's not a role model. So obviously, I don't agree with that. Again, when you get a role, once you put on a pedestal, obviously you have millions of people that are following you. You automatically opt into being a role model because you're influencing people. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what a role model is. So, but you can't influence people for negative. But when you have a platform where you can influence a mass of people, no, that's not a role model. Let me take that back. Because you can influence people and not be a role model, but you should want to be a role model if you have that type of influence on the people. So, but we got celebrities. Let's go to it, because obviously we work with young men, so a lot of stuff we talk about a man. But even let's go into a female realm. First thing come to my mind, Sexy Red. Bow, bow, bow. You going around and F my baby daddy. But these are anthems. And don't get me wrong, this stuff this sounds good. It sounds good. Like when I'm listening to this stuff, it sounds good. But at the end of the day, what is this putting into our young kids' brains? Or not even the kids. I see grown folk on social media, on Facebook, talking about these lyrics, talking about they can't wait till they be outside to be able to say the Sexy Red stuff. So again, you got people that are getting these positions, making millions of breads. Even Sexy Red, I seen her, bro. She pulled up on a school bus, like a school. She's from St. Louis, went back to St. Louis. A school bus is like she went to a school setting, went out the sunroof and started twerking in front of the school bus. This is what we got. But at the end of the day, like, bro, now you got young girls that are looking at this, like, bro,
and they want to do exactly. That's what Sexy Red doing. That's what I'm
gonna do. Or you even got young boys. That's how I want my girl to be doing that. So now we putting images out there. So again, that's a negative. You got public figures and celebrities that are hurting. But I'm pretty sure there's some positive. But for the most part, when you got, even let's go to the male side, when you got the people that's talking about money, or what's my man, Boss Man D-Lo, when he talk about the church from burping, like they're putting all these lyrics into these kids' heads, and now it's brainwashing them, bro. And I tell them all the time, I listen to this music, don't get me wrong, but I'm at an age of my life when I can discern that's not for me. I'm not living that, but I love the way it sounds. We come from hip hop, we come from rap, so it just naturally sounds good to us. I like conscious rap too. I like other things, but I like that as well. And to give them a sense, so you got to like these celebrities are tearing us down as well.
For sure. And it's funny because yesterday we had a mini sex ed course for the after school, and that was something that me and Rory were talking about. When the journal topic was, what do you know about sex? Now I know some people may think it's not the right time to talk to our boys, but social media in this day and age, we need to talk about it we had a third grader saying he knew what it was.
Yeah, I don't think nobody would dispute that right now.
So with that being said, you know, we asked him, what do you know about sex? And in one of the journals, the explicit imagery that one of our young boys wrote in there, at the end of the day, he had to learn it from somewhere. Whether that's what he learned in the household, whether that's something that he learned at home or in school, whatever the case may be. But the point that I think we did as mentors, we did a great job of hitting home was, you want to emulate, you want to do exactly what he said in this song, or you want to do exactly what he said on the radio, on that show, on TikTok, on Instagram. You want to do exactly what that is. But what if that was your mama or your sister?
What's up, family? Man, have you liked, subscribed, or commented yet?
Takes 2 seconds. Comment also is a great way to help us refine what we do here.
You family, right? We need you.
Come on, man. Like, subscribe, and comment. Peace.
Then that whole mindset, you know, not to your point. Yeah. Now I got to think that, okay, so what he's rapping about, all right, that ain't as cool as I thought it was, because I ain't even think that deep to say, okay, well, that could be my mom, my sister. You know what I'm saying? So the role models, the negative role models, brainwash our kids, man. Whether male or female.
Male or female, and it's both ways. And to the point, there are positives. So I don't want to act like they're just all negative. Oh, there absolutely. Are positive images of celebrities. You got the likes. If you want to go to women's, you got the likes of a Beyonce. Beyonce say some crazy stuff in our songs too. But a Beyonce, Savannah James, LeBron James' wives. We have different people that people can look into. But the ones that are seen the most, and now we get into somewhere deeper, because the ones that are seen the most, the one that are getting the most publicity, are the ones that are negative. That comes from a higher. That comes from a higher thing. That's the people are being brainwashed. Again, we get back to being brainwashed. So when we talked about the young person that had a role model, first thing they do is brainwash them to make them think they're good. Same thing when it comes to society. Just like that movie that came out, when it shows how the music and how all these different things are just turning us against each other. So you're not seeing the people. It's people that make beautiful music out there, but you'll never hear that on the radio. You're not gonna hear it in the club, because that ain't what they want you to hear. So it's a sense of brainwashing. And oh, I thought you were about to say. Oh, no. So as we when we're talking about the roles, it's like how can we, as a collective, or what should people do? So right now, somebody's like, well, I want to be a role model. I just don't know the how. What is the first step? What can they do right now to step into a method of being a role model?
Brother Rory, one of our fellow mentors, that's one thing that he said, bro, you got to self-assess.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you got to look yourself in the mirror to say, first off, am I even moving in the right way to say that I want to step in front of these people, these young men, these young ladies, this camera? I think that's one of the biggest things, because you have a lot of people. So we have a lot of people that ask us or say. So I was speaking with another mentor. He mentors with another program, and what he said was, what is crazy, the words that he used. He said, man, you know, I have a lot of people that ask, you know, can I be a mentor? How can I be a mentor? But he said, bro, you got to be cut different. His exact words, as he talking to me from another. He said, bro, it's funny, but you got to be cut different in order to be a mentor, because there's a certain way that you have to carry yourself. There's a certain way that you have to walk. You know, it's not is it self-respect? And I think that's one of the biggest things. But self-assessing by seeing who it is that you portray, or who it is that you are on a day-to-day basis. And if by you being yourself, is that something that you would want to see emulating you? You know what I'm saying? So that I start with that self-assessment.
And that's a crazy point that you just put in. It's very, very right on. So there are a lot of people I see. So obviously we grew up here. We grew up in Ocala. Everybody, for the most part, a lot of people know what we're doing. And you'll see certain people around there like, bro, I love what you're doing. You know, I want to help out. And then you look at the person like, bro, come on, bro. You're not even living right. Why you want to help out? So that strikes two things in me. I think a lot of people have the urge to help. People want things to be better. I just don't know if they think they can do it, or they add value to it, or they just don't know how. And it may be more that just not knowing how. Because in the sense of somebody wanting to, think of it, of the mindset you have to be in, a person that is destroying the community, and whatever they can be doing, it's not helping the community. But in the same tone, they can come to a person and say, man, I want to help out with them kids. That's a level of confusion, bro. That's like something is messed up in their brain. So I think that people really just don't know how to help. But to my question, as far as somebody wanting to help, like you said, I'm gonna go. You can't beat it. It's self-assessing. You got to fix yourself first. You got to look yourself in the eye and be like, all right, am I doing what it takes to influence somebody? What I'm doing right now, what I want my child to be who I am, what I want my cousin to be who I am, and be able to look at yourself. And if it's not what you, and that's not to say that you can't.
Yeah.
Everybody can make a change, and that's one of everybody can make an impact. And that's why when I said in the beginning, I think that when we talk about role models, we think that a person has to be arrived at their destination to be a role model. No, bro, a janitor can be a role model.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A person that works at McDonald's can be a role model. Yeah. Like these, just because they wherever they work at, the job doesn't mean they have valuable information to give you. And like I just said, there's certain qualities you could take from anybody. And even so just for a second, a negative, so say a person that sold drugs. If you sold drugs and I felt you were my role model, you can be a role model to me. You can, but you know what you're doing is wrong, and you not gonna. If you really were a role model, you wouldn't put me nowhere near your drugs. You wouldn't talk about drugs around me, and you'll look me in my eye and say, "I'll beat you in your face if I ever see you doing this." But you'll give me game. You'll tell me what you would have did if what you would do if you were me, and you also give me some tips on money or whatever like that. That's a true role model. That's just
I'm about to say that's the real OGs. Yeah. That's what you call an OG. Yeah. I mean, for those that don't know, those are just the older people that they gave guidance. Even though they were in the streets, they gave guidance to the young kids to keep them. Even though they were doing what they were doing wrong, they were keeping the youngsters off the street, or they were mentoring them in a sense. And it's funny, I know you probably don't even remember this, and it's crazy that I'm about to say it, but I remember being in the neighborhood, and it was a dude, one of the neighborhood
dope boys.
One of the neighborhood dope boys. Then we were over there. All the youngsters was over there. We seen the type of cars he was driving. He was cool, but we were around him. We were only there because our friends was over there. But I'll never forget, one of them asked him for a gun. I'll never forget it. And at that instant, the way that he looked at the kid that asked him that question or asked about that gun, he snapped on him. What you asked me for a gun for? That ain't nothing you need to be around. And we know what he's doing, but in that second, even though, society may not, he's doing what he's doing, but for me to be a young man and to hear him say that, right, them words struck me more than anything. Like, okay, even though I know what he's doing and I see what he's riding on and I hear the things that's going on, that man didn't say, all right, here, little brother, let me give you this gun. He really, was trying to correct him at that time. Like, bro, you need to stay away from that. Yeah. So you're right. Yeah. You can, even if you are doing, let's say, wrong, or you're not doing the right things in life, you can correct a younger man that needs that guidance in order, because he's gonna be an adult someday. Yeah. You want him to do what you're doing?
Yeah. I think we're in a different age, man. Because even going back to your example, even when it happened to Soames, we knew it wasn't anything was doing down there. Willow no. And the only reason I'm saying his name because he went to jail for it. He did his time. Yeah. But we knew what they were doing down there. You know what I mean? They weren't gonna allow us down there when that was going on. And then when he coming up there, hey, I get you $20 for every touchdown you had. He trying to motivate us on our end, to stay what we doing. Every touchdown. He was paying that $20 for every touchdown because he understood what we had, the gift we had, and where we needed to go. You get what I'm saying? So it's the same. It's the same fact. I think just today's age, man, we're in a dangerous time right now, and that's what the message I really want to get across. We are in a very, very dangerous time right now, man. Because we went past the old days. There was a time in life, and I'm 30 years old. I'm not old, but there was a time in life when I was a kid. To example, the OGs, the older people, they would not allow young men, young women to go down the wrong path. They standing in front of like, I wish you would. But now we got to the age that where the older people, or the people that are supposed to be the mentors, the role models,
they tearing us down.
And they bringing the kids along with them, and they're not caring. So we're destroying ourselves, and we wonder why we got kids that's popping up on mugshot, kids that are where they don't need to be, because the people who are they around? Yeah. The influence that they're around, man, we have to stand up to be able to look at these people that are leading our youth, whoever down the wrong path, and say, man, we got to figure it out. Like, we got to get these people away because they're literally destroying our community. Yeah. Again, we always say the youth are our future. But at the end of the day, why, when a youth, for example, a young man that dribble a basketball and run a football until he gets to high school, when he gets to high school and those dreams are gone, now he selling drugs.
What is he gonna do?
What is he gonna like? Yeah. It's bigger than that, man. So we have to be able to come together and be able to do it, man. That's why role models are so important, and that's why I really want to have this conversation, because we got to have a redirect. You know what I mean? We got to have a redirection to where it's like, okay, this is the mission. And I think it comes under that. Every community should have a mission for the whole community. And this is every side of town, the black side, white side, Hispanic town, everybody. But there should be a common goal for everybody under one umbrella. This is what we want for our community. And if anything is happening in that community and it doesn't fit that goal, it has to be gone. We have to. Everybody needs to stand up to go over there and say, "Hey, this ain't what we doing. You got to get rid of that."
Go back to what you always talk about, just the village aspect of it. Because again, if the village, what you're referring to is Ocala, Marion County, Florida. We know what a good role model looks like. We know what we want stand-up men in our community to look like. We know what we want men in our households to look like. I think about all the time. You know, at the end of the day, I get more passion. I give more passion. I give more concern about being a mentor because I got a son, your nephew. So at the end of the day, if we don't, I look at, you know, the things I consciously think about. What am I pouring into this young man? And if something ever happened to his dad, what is somebody else going to pour into him? Because at some point in life, he's going to be at the forefront. He's going to be the one that's going to be leading the next generation. So if we're not instilling the right things into these young men, if we're not instilling the right thing into these young people in itself, bro, we headed to destruction. And I think that's just like to your point. That's what needs to be. That's the message that we're giving out, man.
And so as we're wrapping up, man, I want to point out some things. So kind of speaking to negative influences, and so if you just so happen to be watching this and you're a negative influence, you probably won't be watching this if you're a negative influence, but if you know a negative influence and you're watching this, man, just send this message is for you, man. Just stop. If you want to destroy somebody, just destroy yourself. Don't take everybody with you. Again, it's like with that thing with you, like go do it yourself. Like don't harm nobody else. And because we didn't ask for this. We didn't ask for this. We didn't ask for you to be around pouring salt all up in the game. We are here trying to guide people to own their greatness. And we don't need no negative energy, no negative influences around that. So if you're a negative person, man, step away. Go find your own little bubble and beat yourself up or do whatever you want to yourself. But don't take nobody else with you. And if you don't do harm to yourself, go get help. If you need help, get help. But if you're in your right mind and you just out here destroying the community for whatever reason, go destroy yourself. Don't destroy the community, all right? And I know that sounds crazy, but at the end of the day, somebody got to be real. We got to be able to speak to these forces and be able to speak truth to power, man. You get what I'm saying? So it's truth to power. Again, we live in communities that we're trying to uplift, and it takes a lot of work. One bad apple. I always said that. One bad apple can sour the whole bunch. Man. You get what I'm saying? So we got to be strong when we say that. So you got anything to say to the negative people?
Hey, man. You said it. At the end of the day, man, we don't mean this in any, and I guess we don't mean it in a negative way. We just see and we live this on a day-to-day basis as we mentor these young men, as we walk within the communities, man. It's to the point. One day there was an accident, and I went to go pick up Naya, and as I was getting her off the bus, before she came off the bus, she said, "Dad, they want your autograph." Like, for what?
Yeah.
Because they know you and Uncle Jay are the owners of Cut Different. That's a role model. Those are the things and I know through what we do, through the teachings, through the mentoring, through just the relationships that we build within the community, we're able to empower the community. We're able to help young men, help people own their greatness. And if you see positive things going on within your community, if you see positive people trying to do great things to uplift the community, bro, like you say, back out of the way in a nice way. Just back out of the way.
Yeah. And that's true. And even with education, education is a important part to when we're talking about ridding negative influences. So, and I'm not just talking, when I say education, I'm not talking about the schools. They do play a role as well, but I'm talking about the parents as well. When we're talking about education, the knowledge that you're giving to your child will help them stay away from the negative influence. For example, we come from a household to where we knew it was, again, we'll tweet it. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. We tweeted the line. Yeah. We played both sides. Now, don't get me wrong, but it was only so far we would go. Because at the end of the day, we knew before the street lights came on, we had to be home. And we know when we got home, we ain't walking in the house high. We ain't walking in the house with liquor all on our clothes, on our breath. We walking in straight. So at the end of the day, the education that is being provided in a home it weeds out all that negative stuff. Because again, a young person is able to say, this ain't, they able to discern. When they go outside, nobody. That ain't for me. I ain't going that way.
You hitting on the head, because at the end of the day, that's one thing I swear, when we teach, even yesterday during sex ed 101, we got to be real with them. I got to be real with you, young man. Mr. Eddie wasn't perfect either. Yeah. We're only telling you because of some of the things that we did, or some of the people that we're around and that was affected from the decisions in life that they made. Mm-hmm. And if we don't give you this information, because you're probably not getting it from nobody else. Mm-hmm. You don't have somebody else pouring into you the way that we are. Yeah. If we can't give you that from just being 100% real with you, then you're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get that information, and then you're not gonna be able to take that and give that to somebody else. So, man, you hitting it right on the head, right? But again, we're not coming from a place of just being perfect, bro. That's not it.
For sure.
we bumped our heads.
Yeah, bumped our heads, and one wants a bunch of us. All right, so you heard. Welcome, thank you, family. Hey, like, subscribe, and comment. All right, stop what you're doing right now. Making sure you're liking, subscribing, and commenting. Man, we getting up there. We're in our 30s right now. We'll be at 50 before. We're gonna do that, man. We're gonna do a countdown to 50. At our 50 podcast, we're gonna do something special. I don't know what we do, but we're gonna have like a 50 episode party. We're gonna do something really cool. We might do a in-person something. I don't know. That'd be cool. That just came to my head. But anywho, for our 50th one, man, we're going to do something really cool, because this is a lot of hard work, man. There are a lot of people that go into it, man. Behind the scenes, y'all don't never see it. We've got Javi behind the scenes that's always making sure everything going. We got brother Rory back there smashing buttons, making sure everything going, man. So it's a team effort. So we appreciate y'all. When y'all watching this, man, it's a full production of people that are making this happen. I know you see our faces on the camera, but there's people behind the scenes that are making this thing go as well. So we appreciate you. That's why that like button is important. If you really like Javier, if you even like Rory, hit this like button, man, to show them that you love the work that they're doing behind the scenes. All right. So family, we appreciate y'all. And even back on to the topic, man, just role models. Be a role model and not a model playing a role. All right. A positive influence. Again, you don't have to be a mentor, or you don't have to be in front of kids every day to be a role model. However you can figure out to do it. Take some food to the Salvation Army. Do something. That's being a role model, because you're influencing people. Somebody's going to be blessed by the small gift that you give. It doesn't have to be $1 million. It could be $1. But be a role model, because everybody has a hand to play in changing the world and changing our community, man. So we love y'all for sure. You got any last thing before we get off?
Be a role model.
Be a role model. All right, man. We see y'all next time.